master's degree programs in the United States of America. Thousands of people, especially from developing countries, every single day are looking for various opportunities to apply for studying opportunities in the United States of America. I have so many videos, audios explaining about just overall processes and the steps or procedures on how to get ready preparing for applications for graduate school. But today I'm just specifically talking about master's degree programs in the United States of America. But the problem people are facing is the financial help, financial support. How can they access or get scholarships and or assistantships to be able to study in the United States of America? Welcome, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM, talking from my home office in Belton, Missouri, United States of America. And this is EBM Scholars Show. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/EBM Scholars, but also please share this audio to your friends and colleagues who are looking for various opportunities to study overseas, but mainly in the United States of America. So why United States of America today? This is because there are general procedures on how to apply scholarships all over the world, but US is going a little further to have a separate kind of application procedures compared to mainly Europe or Asia. When you go to apply for scholarship in London or England in general, German, Netherlands, or other countries, there are procedures. There are so many things which are common, like the same procedures like in US, but US has different procedures. So I want to make sure that you know this difference when you want to apply in the US, and why many people in the end they end up not to apply in the US, they apply in other countries. And what in the end I'll give you the advice to find these ways on how you can bypass, or if you want to apply, what kind of resources you need to prepare in order to apply. And this is specifically for people from developing countries applying to become international students in the United States of America. And in the end, I'll go to explain what are your options after graduation, after finishing your studies in US. What will be your immigration status? What can you do? So, welcome again. So let's start. I'm talking about graduate and specifically masters. I'm not talking about PhD. PhD is a different breed. We'll talk about that in another audio or another video. But let's talk about just master's degree. So, whether you are applying for masters in science field, masters in arts, the procedure are mainly the same. In the US, 99.999% of all master's programs are coursework, and some they have dissertation, some they have what we call capstone research. Is a some sort of just a short, comprehensive, just like a short kind of, not a full dissertation, is called capstone. Or some of the universities, they have a program, so instead you can have option, instead of doing dissertation, you can be given, you have to take extra, you can opt to take maybe extra 2 certain classes or 3 extra classes just to compensate the dissertation. So not all have to do dissertation to complete their master's degree program, so it depends. That's one. But when you come to the application procedures, number one, you have to know US is a little bit different from Europe in the sense that they look in what we call the whole person in application. This is a little bit different, which is true, but it's a little bit different from Europe. Just like even like in your normal life, you'll see many people in the US, they try to look normal. They like to look simple compared to people in Europe, British culture. You can see, for instance, like a rich person in Britain, a famous person in Britain. You can see like how people, even in the students, how do they dress up when they go to work? How do they dress up when they go to the interview? So almost all the time, someone is like men, and they're in suit, they're in tie, all these things. And even myself, when I was in Tanzania back then, I used to have over 350 ties. I was able to change the tie every single day from high school. Every single day I can wear a different tie. University, bachelor degree, like when I was in Tanzania, University of Dar es Salaam, I was able to wear tie almost every single day until when I decided to start stopping. But you come in America, they don't care much about if you wear a tie, what is going on. Majority of jobs, majority of normal life, people don't do the dress up like those dress, trouser, whatever, all those other things like how we wear in Africa. We don't wear that way. Because if you wear that way, people wonder what's going on. But you look like people wear just normal. Simple. Someone is wearing jeans. You saw like on Apple launch on iPhone 11. What do Tim Cooks and all other Apple people coming there? They're just coming there with jeans, just t-shirts. But what they are going to talk with was important. So in US, sometimes they don't look like all those things. So they look as a person, as a total package. What do you have? What are you going to bring on the table? That is number one thing. So I understand. That's why I say number one thing usually is your GPA for your bachelor's degree. But there are some people have master's degree, you want to apply another master in the US. It's okay. They don't care if you have 2 masters, you want to apply for the 3rd master. They don't care about that. So it's up to you whether you want to apply or not. But number one thing usually is a GPA. They say we want a GPA at least, obviously if you convert, America, they use 4.0 GPA. Many countries in Africa, I don't know about West Africa, but many countries in Africa, they are using 5.0 GPA scale. So it's very simple. Take your GPA. If you got, let's say, 4.0 out of 5, take 4.0 out of 5.0 times 4. That is just a simple conversion to see what is your GPA when they put into 4 scale, what it will look like. But in most cases, they will tell you we want to have at least 2.0 GPA out of 4. So in most cases, most of the scholarships, they will be from 3.0 and above. But I'm saying in the US, they might look other factors. Even if you don't have that very high score in GPA, sometimes you might be better candidate than another person. That's why I say in the US they look like what are you going to bring on the table. So let me give you an example. We had a former Prime Minister of Tanzania, Frederick Tuluai Sumaye. Sumaye was Prime Minister in Tanzania for 10 years, was a member of parliament for enough long time, but went to study Harvard. I do not know the results of Sumaye, but what I know, Sumaye didn't have a bachelor degree, particularly he had the advanced diploma, something like that. But when you take the 10 years experience as a prime minister, and the prime minister applied to do masters in public administration, obviously Harvard have to offer that person admission and with scholarships. Went to Harvard, not because Sumaye had just the best GPA in the world, but what Sumaye can bring on the table with 10 years experience as a prime minister of the country. So that is what I'm talking about. So sometimes they look all the other factors. So don't be cocky and be just too much above your head. Oh, I have first class GPA, so I'll go any school, even Harvard I can go. Trust me, no, you cannot go. They look on so many things in order for to be considered. I can give 2 examples. Let's say there are 2 candidates. One candidate is having first class for the bachelor degree. The second candidate has upper second class. And the third candidate has a lower second class. The 3 candidates, let's take the example. The first candidate graduated 5 years ago. And after finishing 5 years ago, didn't get a job. What was doing was just looking for a job and watching TV, play video games. That's all. The second candidate with upper second class, after finishing last year, just has 1 year job experience. The one with the lower second finished the school, maybe let's say 5-6 years ago, didn't get a job, but what that person did was went to the YouTube, maybe the person was a teacher, went to YouTube, started to create videos on how to teach people about what he learned from school. Maybe mathematics. This you can teach your kids mathematics. How you can solve the assignment from your kids. So he has a YouTube channel to break down what he's teaching over there. Then he decided to go to volunteer at a local school for free. He has been teaching there for free. Maybe he's getting just breakfast and just lunch for free, and maybe bus fare. But he's teaching there for 5 years for free. And then this person, every single week, is going to one school to meet with the students, just encouraging them, talking to them about the importance of staying in school, not using drugs, what career can they have if they do well in school. So has been doing this for 5 years. So if you apply for, let's say, New York University, NYU, they're having 3 people. Even if you're first class, you have done nothing in your life after graduating. The other person just finishing, yeah, you have 1 year experience. But this person with lower secondary class, after finishing, has proved it can change the society. So remember, the purpose of giving you scholarship, not because you have first class, that is not the reason. The purpose of giving you scholarship, Westerners give you scholarship in the implication that you'll go back to your home country. Once you go back to your home country, you'll be able to help to support the economic, social development of your country. That's why in any statement of purpose, in any motivational letter, in any essay you're going to write, there will be a question. Either they will ask you, or by implicit yourself you have to explain that after graduating your school, what are you going to do when you go back to your home country? Even if they don't say you have to go back to your home country, you have to indicate, I will go back to my home country and I will be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this person who has been working for over 5 years, volunteering for free, doing on YouTube, maybe having a blog and going each week to different schools to explain to students the importance of school, not using drugs, career choices, has done for 5 years. So this person, if I finish my master's degree in community development, I will be able to do more on these areas. Definitely that person will get a scholarship and not the person with a first class. So I want to explain to you, sometimes GPA is good, but don't be too cocky. Don't be too much above your head to think that because you have first class, you can do anything. And this is usually I'm getting upset with the people from Africa, my colleagues. Once you have too much GPA, you think the world is yours. No, it's not. Because there are so many things above GPA, beyond GPA, which will lead you to get a scholarship or not to get a scholarship, or to succeed in life or not to succeed in life. The success in life doesn't depend on that number GPA because you got A in political science, you got B+ in chemistry. No, success doesn't based on that way. Because if it was based on that way, Zidane could not be the best soccer player in the world because he didn't even finish standard 2, standard 3. Was not that smart enough. But if you put on the pitch, Zidane is a different breed, different animal, completely the best in the world. But the point what I'm trying to make is, make sure that each item of your life, once you graduate from school, while you are in first year of college, your second year of college, what are you really doing above or extra beyond just going to the classroom and study? You are studying education. Have you gone to another school, nearby school, to ask you can volunteer for free to be able to teach the students? Have you ever gone to environmental conservation organization to help clean the beach, to clean the street? Have you ever done anything just out of the normal schooling to be able to do something? You have to be able to do for 3, 4, 5 years in order to be able to be competitive. So United States, everywhere when you're going to apply, whether it's a job, whether it is a scholarship, they want to find out what are you able to offer? What experience do you have beyond the school? Yes, you have very good GPA. So what? Are you able to do things in the community? Are you able to transform this society? Show us the proof. Not just because I got A. No, someone has done these things practical, so that person will be given higher priority. So that is number one thing. I want to make it sure you understand the United States of America. How does that operate? Secondly, apart from that, apart from GPA, there are entrance examinations in the United States. And don't bring to me the issue about discrimination, because there are some people when talking about these things. Oh, white people, they want us to go to, they don't want us to go to their country. That's why they put all these restrictions. Give me a break. These requirements, they don't care whether you are black, you are white, you are yellow, whatever color. These requirements are there to select the best people. It's a capitalism, people. So if it is capitalism, is the survival of the fittest. Capitalism has no color. They want someone with these qualifications, they will put it over there. So it's you how you can play the game. If you cannot play the game, you will be disqualified. So the entrance exam, because your country is not the mother tongue or the mother language of the country, is not English, you have to prove to them that you know English. And to prove to them that you know English is not about how much you can speak English, or about you studied from English medium school from primary school to university. That is not a proof. They have examination. 2 examinations to be exact. There is British version and the American version. The British version is International English Language Testing System, IELTS. That is examination under British, and is all over the world is done under the British Council. How much? Is around $300, or might be sometimes, depending on the exchange rate of the country, might be around $250 going to $300. So that is the price. Then there is the American version. It's called the Test of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL. So that is around $210. So there are centers. So if you Google those examinations, you'll find the center in your country. So you have to take that test. The test is to prove that you know English. Is English proficiency test. So the English test is not going to test your competence in English, but just like proficiency. That is the purpose of the test. So it's not telling your intelligence and how smart you are. No, it's just the same exam you are going to do for someone who is applying for masters. The same exam, if you are applying for bachelor degree, you take the same exam. So someone who finishing high school will do the same exam like you. So don't start thinking too much. It's the basic grammatical rule. If you say he comes, that is correct. If you say he comes, it's wrong. They don't care whether you have bachelor, whether you have masters. That is grammatical wrong. So just there are tricks on how to work on the English proficiency test. So that is something else you have to know. So you have to take the English test. So don't bring to me, I know English, I don't have money. That is your problem. They don't care about if you are poor. The point is you have to take the English test. So 99.9% of all scholarships, they will tell you you must submit the English proficiency test. Yes, they might ask you for the waiver, they can give you the waiver, but don't all the time play on the disadvantage. If you are a national team, don't play with, you want to go to play with Germany or you want to play with Brazil, you are waiting to see, oh, is Thiago Silva injured? Don't wait for other something happened to other team. Just prepare yourself. Who is there, you're going to defeat them. But don't wait. Okay, is Messi okay today? Is not okay? What about this player? No, just prepare well to apply. Don't wait to play on a sympathy card. Like, okay, you know, I live in this small village. There is no electricity. There is no whatever. They don't care about the sad stories. Just go and take the test. If you want to get a scholarship, take the test. If you want to go to heaven, accept death. That is the simple way. You cannot go to heaven without death unless otherwise you are Virgin Mary. But the rest of us will go to heaven through death. So if you are born again Christian, you want to go to heaven, accept to die. Be ready to die. That's the simple. If you want to go to get a scholarship to come to America, be ready to go to take this examination. It's the passage through which you can get a scholarship. While you are waiting for sympathy, someone in China over there is doing this test. So even if you get the waiver, someone has come there with the same GPA and has that test, they will take that person who went extra mile beyond you to get that scholarship. So that is one of the examination. But this examination is for all international people, students from Africa, wherever you are, But as long as I know there is no any African country, the mother tongue is English. So don't bring to me, here in Kenya, English and Kiswahili are national languages. Yes, they're national language, but you are speaking Kikuyu, you are speaking Luo, you are speaking other languages. So that is not your first language. You are not British, you are not American, you are not someone from Australia, New Zealand. So go and take the English proficiency test. If you really want to take the scholarship in America, go and take that test. I know there are some of the universities, they can give you a waiver, but don't wait for the waiver. Be competitive. Have everything on the table. Everything you must have on the table in order to be ready to apply. Then there is another examination. This one is depending on the program you are applying. It is a must. This examination doesn't care whether you are American citizen, doesn't care whether you are British citizen, it doesn't care whether you are African, doesn't care whether you are Indian, doesn't care whether you are Arab. They don't care about the colorful, whatever your head or your hand. They don't care all those things. It's very simple. You must take the examination. Whether you come to pay for yourself or you are looking for scholarship from these countries, you must take these examinations. What is this kind of examinations? So as I said, it depends on the nature of the school you are applying or the nature of the program you are applying. If you are applying for programs in management, you have to take what we call GMAT. GMAT is Graduate Management Admission Test. That is GMAT. If you want to take a non-management program, we have what we call GRE, Graduate Record Examination. The easiest way, you can go into Google. If you want to go to the law school, they have LSAT. If you want to go to the medical school, they have their medical exam. So you have to take those examinations. These examinations, no one, even if he's American, you want to go to study at the University of San Diego, you must take GRE. You must take, you want to go to take law, you have to take LSAT. You have to take this kind of examination. So number one, it doesn't care. So don't bring like, okay, this is just examination for us as Africans. They want us not to go over there. No. Even the Americans themselves, they prepare for these examinations. They have to take this examination if they want to go to graduate school. Whether they pay for themselves, whether they are looking for scholarships, you have to take these examinations. The amount of the grade, that will be a different story, but you must take these examinations. So go on the Google search. If you are going to do non-management programs, just find the GRE, Graduate Record Examination. You'll be able to do that. If you are doing management, Masters in Management, MBA, all those things, you have to take the GMAT, Graduate Management Admission Test. So that is, those are two examinations. And those examinations are around 200, 250, depending. GMAT is a little bit higher compared to GRE. GRE is 200, 220, around that. So those are the things you have to do. You have to take the examination. So in general, so you see the English proficiency examination is the same examination you'll be using even if you are applying to Europe. But once you are going to apply for America, you go further, you have another extra examination, which is GRE. So I'm talking about now the resources and expenses. The first expense is the English proficiency test, around 250. If you take it 12, is 210. If you take it the other one, is around that much. The second expense, you have to take the GRE, GMAT, or LSAT, depending on what program you're going to do in US. So that is the second expense you have to consider. The third expense in US is application fees. Unlike in Europe, unlike in Australia, New Zealand, when you apply, 99.9% of all admissions in those countries, there is no application fees when you apply to any university. But in the US, all universities you are going to apply, you have to pay for application fees. That is what you have to pay. So it depends. Each university has different amount. Some they have 50, some 75, some 60, 100, depending. But most of the universities is between 45, 50 to average 75. Most of the universities, they are that way. If you do that, yes. So that is the other expense. But there is a catch on something. So apart from, you have done already English proficiency test, you have done GRE or GMAT or LSAT, then you are going to pay application fee. Remember, you have the English proficiency test result from 12, you have the GRE examinations results you have, But these universities, they don't accept results from your hand. They want results from Education Testing Services called ETS. ETS is the one which is in charge with this examination, like GRE, GMAT, or whatever, the TOEFL exam. So once you take the test, your system, everything will be in the system. So Stanford University doesn't accept your copy of results. So you go online, you order the results to be sent by ETS to Stanford. You order your results from ETS to Ohio University. You are going to order the ETS to send your test score, your results, to Michigan State University, which you are applying. So that is what you're going to do. But they don't do it for free. How do they do? You have to pay. The TOEFL exam, the test score, they send you for each copy you're going to ask is $17, and for GRE is $27. So if you do, it's very simple. That is nearby almost $45. So there is extra $45 just to ask for test score to go to one university. So if you apply to UCLA, meaning University of California for Los Angeles, they will take the $45 you will pay to the ETS to send those test score to go to UCLA or UC Berkeley, or you are going to apply to Irvine, whatever university you are going to apply. So that is $45, and the application fee maybe, let's say, 40 or 50 or 60. So you are talking about each university you are going to apply. Apart from taking the test, you will be spending at least $100 for sending the application fee and the test score. That is something you have to know. US universities don't accept test score from your hand. So they have to come direct from them. But there is another advantage. If you are taking GRE, the day you are taking GRE, you are allowed to send free copies. ETS, they'll give you the favor or the offer of sending 4 copies to different universities. 4 different universities. So if you know $27 US per 1 copy, so if they give you 4, that means that is more than 110. So if you take that advantage, it means you have been in a position to solve. You have been in the position to be helping yourself to save over 110. So in the end, you have ended up to do the GRE exam by $100 instead of doing it by 110 or 120. So you have been able to save over 110 to be exactly. So that is one of the techniques on how you can be able to reduce some of the fees. So what does that mean? It means when you are going to do the GRE exam, on that day, you must have at least 4 universities which you want to apply or which you are going to apply. That means at the end of the examination, there will be, do you want ETS to send it to for free 4 universities? So there will be all universities in the US. So you can click the state over there, California. You click the city, all the universities of the California or that particular city will come there. Okay, I'm applying to University of San Diego, USD, program Peace and Justice Studies. So if you apply, you click there, they'll give you the code, they will send you over there the copy. So that will be the technique on how to do. So before you take the GRE, you have to know which university you are going to apply so that you can be able to take the advantage of those 4 free copies. That is the examination. So you see the cost, how does it go? And you cannot apply 1 or 2 universities to be sure to get a scholarship. You have to apply to at least 10 universities. I usually tell people apply 15, 20, 25. This is the world. You are not alone. You are not the only one who is looking for all those millions of money to be given. Everyone is applying for the same opportunities. So if you want to apply, at least, just do at least 15, but minimum 10, but don't apply 1, 2, and then you are waiting for, no. Apply starting from 10, but at least 15. By 15, that means you have at least $1,500 US, which is each university will be costing you $100. That is, I'm talking about beyond taking the examination, beyond the cost for examination fees. That is just the cost of applying to each university and sending the test results. So 15 universities, you can be able to get at least 2 or 3, depending on the school competition and all other factors. So that is something you have to consider in terms of money-wise. If you wanted to apply in the US, it is the real investment. You have to to make sure. Don't take all these tests and everything and you end up going to do one examination. That doesn't help you. Yes, there are very few, because another question, can I find a school which doesn't have GRE? Yes, you can find, but you might end up, it might be a school, but that school doesn't have the course you want to do. For instance, George Mason, University of George Mason in Virginia, it has only for scholarship or program for peace and conflict resolution, to be exactly. Conflict resolution in George Mason don't have GRE requirement. So it's just one. So assume you study physics. Are you going to study conflict resolution? No. So sometimes it depends on which school. Some of the school of linguistics, but don't wait for that one school. What if the entire US, the school for your program, you are studying literature or you are studying social work, there is 2 universities. So you end up everything just wait for 2 universities. Just do the exam and have the freedom to apply to many schools and to be having the potential of being getting. You must not get the perfect score, obvious, yes, because the exam is very tough. There are mathematics, there is English, there is all other things, but you have done it. You have gone to the next step, because without doing the examination, they are going to eliminate you by knockout without even considering, because your application is incomplete. As I said, they are looking for everything. So you didn't have a good GPA, you didn't have a good score. When it comes to your resume or CV, you have a very good background. They will consider that. Then you are coming to get your recommendation letters. Professors or your lecturers, your supervisors have written very good recommendation letters. Those are going to add weight. But if your recommender is going to say, okay, this guy used to cheat, just do some plagiarism here and there, but in the end you got a degree, obviously they are going to eliminate you. But if you have to find the people, your supervisors for work, or if you are also some of the professors, to be able to write a very good recommendation, that adds a lot of weight in the decision for admission in the US. US trusts a lot from other colleague recommendation. It's a network. Like, okay, how do you recommend this person? Should I hire this person? What the person is saying can determine the person to get a job or to get admitted or not. Because if your supervisor say, oh, this guy is so lazy, obviously you are not good, but this guy can be able to do things under pressure, can be able to do, sometimes to come with different ways on how to do things, even out of the box thinking, can be able to go in there, find certain research out of his normal time. They look all those things, they okay, this person is a very trustworthy person. It can be reliable. We can use this person in our department. So there are so many things people are going to look just beyond the GPA. So don't be, okay, I have first class, everything, the entire world is mine. No, it's not yours. Some other people have faith on your life, as long as you have to play on what is going to be done under the rules of getting scholarships. So that is something else you have to know about United States of America when it comes to these kind of scholarships and all other things. So, I don't know. Those are the basic things. Then it comes to you have to apply. But when are you supposed to take this test application? Most of the test application and everything started from August to December each year. That is, you apply. So you apply from August to December. The results come out between March and April. Then you are going to, for visa between May and July, August. Then August, September is when the universities are opening. So for instance, it's 2019, you apply to go to school for 2020 in August. So you apply by August 2019 to December 2019 to go to school 2020 in August. So if you apply to universities and you don't get selected, it means you have wasted the year of 2019 to 2020, and then you have to apply 2020, August to December, to go to 2021. So you have wasted 2 years just to wait for the masters. That's why I'm saying, if you really want to apply for scholarship, just take the test, invest your money, make sure that you apply for 20, 25, 30 universities. There will be a guarantee at least to get one go. And always I say this, Ronaldo and Messi, what makes them, set them apart from other players from Africa, from other countries, also Sergio Ramos compared to Ronaldo, is very simple. Ronaldo and Messi, they have attempted on the shots on goal many times than any other player. What they do, they just, every the time they get the ball, they kick on target. That is what they have to do. Goalkeeper can do a mistake. You watch World Cup between France and Spain and Portugal. Ronaldo kicked the ball, De Gea made a mistake, it was a goal. Recently there is a game between Lusitania, whatever that country, and Portugal. Ronaldo kicked the ball on the goalkeeper made a mistake, it was a goal. He had 4 goals in one game. So that is the point, it can happen. So the only thing is, but if you don't apply, the chance of not getting selected is already there. You are not going to be selected because you didn't apply. So if you apply 20 universities, your chance is higher of getting even one admission compared to someone who is applying for one. So that is something you have to know. But another question I get from you, how do I know this university has scholarships? You don't apply to any school because you see the name of the school on the internet. Make sure you read from what they call prospective students. There will be some information about international students. If they have what you call assistantship. Assistantship, you assist departmental work. You assist on teaching. You assist on teaching or being like kind of like a seminar leader, or you assist on other things like in the department. So you do some departmental work, and that is called the assistantship. In many countries, in developing countries, this kind of process we call tutorial assistance or assistantship is also assistantship, because people in the department are assisting on teaching, on seminar, on something else. They end up being given tuition fees and living, they are going to cut for the living cost. So in US, most of the opportunities are assistantship. You assist on departmental work, then they pay for tuition and fees and living expenses. So that is how it's called assistantship. So don't get confused with the word assistantship versus scholarship. In US, we don't use the word scholarship often. Scholarship can be given the money and just go and sleep in your dormitory over there. That is a scholarship. But assistantship, you assist something, you work for 20 hours per week, then you are given certain amount of money. And your school fees is paid for. So those are the things about that. Quick other thing is, most of the scholarship, they don't pay for your flight ticket. So that will be your cost or visa fee. There are few they give you scholarship. They give you, for instance, if you get Fulbright, that is a government. They will pay also for visa, for flight ticket. But mostly, if you are getting directly from the university, they don't. Yeah, so those are the things. But when you finish, either it's bachelor, master's, or PhD, so we're talking about masters. Once you finish your masters, you're about to finish your masters. In the US, they have what we call OPT, optional practical training. So whether you want to live in the US, whether you don't want to live in the US, that is the advantage you can use. It is an opportunity for someone after graduating to be given work permit for 1 year to work any professional job in your field. The aim is to get experience, but also to give something thank you to America, what they believe that way. So you have to work in America for at least for 1 year. So even if you go to your country, it will be able to help you to use this work experience, a professional work experience in your country. Some other countries in Canada, if not mistaken, the OPT is 2 years, but in the US is 1 year. The only exception is for the people who are in science field, you call it STEM, people in engineering, science field, mathematics. Those, they have up to 18 months, not a year and a half, to do with the OPT. Yeah, so that is something you can do. But there are other things we call it CPT, curriculum practical training, you are doing while you are studying. So that is a different story I don't want to talk about now. But most of the scholarship when you come to America is just OPT, optional. At the end of the studies, you are given 1 year. Many people, they take that advantage. Some other people, they have already other commitments. They left their family, they left their loved ones over there. They want just to get the hell out of here, go back to their home country, or go back to their work. They get maybe work leave from their work so that they can start. So their leave is almost over. They have to go back. They don't need to have that 1 year. So it depends on every single factor. But if you have opportunity, that's why it's called the OPT, optional. If you have the opportunity to do at least 1 year work, that will be a very good something, even if you go back to your home country, to add on your resume and something of that nature. So I think I've talked too much, over 40 minutes. I'm sorry. It has been a very, very, very long audio to explain just master's scholarships or master's assistantships programs in the United States of America. I think that will be able to help some of you who have questions about specifically about America and the education system, or masters, how can you go about it, things of that nature. Again, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM from EBM Scholars in Belton, Missouri, United States of America. Thank you, everyone. All the best, and welcome to the United States of America through education opportunities. Goodbye.